This is a video for the RPG Learning Group. It's been a while since I've done one of these, and I really should be continuing to work on this series about the Riddle of Steel, but it's taken me a little bit of time to get back in the swing of things for that. I've been terribly busy lately, and so I want to tackle a slimmer tome, one that I've had for a long time, and it doesn't get a lot of discussion. What is it? It's De Profundis, Letters from the Abyss. It's this pretty stark cover, and it describes itself as a game of mind-warping horror in the style of H.P. Lovecraft. Tiny. Let's take a quick look at it. Produced by Hogshead in what they called their New Style gaming series, De Profundis is an attempt at a narrative game which focuses on, well, it focuses on gameplay fairly differently than what you might expect for a role-playing game. One thing it clarifies right off the bat is that it is not a Call of Cthulhu product. De Profundis, Letters from the Abyss is, for a simple explanation, is a role-playing game wherein the players write letters. Where does madness end and reality begin? Through the medium of letter writing and the steps that the text will guide you through in preparing those letters and preparing yourself as a character to write those letters. That question can be explored. Now, the game itself was translated from Polish, making it an early game to be translated into English. And it is written in the style of correspondence between two friends. It's actually written in a format that makes you feel like you're looking at one side of a series of correspondence wherein the game, De Profundis, is created. And there are a lot of little tips and tricks that are buried in the presentation of the letters that transmits its intent or its style far better than simply writing instructions ever could. There are inconsistencies of chronology. Like in one point, the author of these letters states that he's thinking about making a game, and then in later letters, of course, it becomes quite obvious that the game has already begun. So I like those little touches. Throughout, there's the suggestion that the game might, if played, if one were to try playing such a game, might lead one to madness. And then, of course, there are signs of madness in each of the letters. It's very text heavy. The game is divided into three distinct parts: the letter writing, the character, and the experience of inhabiting the character, both in, let's say, the period of reflection before writing a letter and in writing the letter. And although it sounds like it might be complicated to learn, this is just a 32-page booklet. And the latter section is appendices, articles from magazines and the like, which further clarify the work. Meaning, really, we're looking at about 27 pages of the author's attempt to describe the game. Reading through it from start to finish, reading these letters as they are written about the game to someone else who's learning about the game, and you are being addressed as you, and the questions that you might have asked are being predicted and answered in the text. It's a very interesting way to learn how to play this game. But what is the game, really? The author spends a lot of time talking about that very thing without a lot of concrete response, or at least it feels like the author never comes out and says, do this. but over time, the suggestions add up to pretty much the same thing. The author recommends that you choose one of two periods, a sort of classic 1920s era of Lovecraft or now. That you focus on a character who is maybe a protagonist in a work of fiction by Lovecraft or similar authors, that you play yourself, or that you play an equally understandable and, I don't know, demonstrable character like that for your exercise in exploring a Lovecraftian world through this medium of letter writing. It's possible to play the game purely by yourself and be able to look back on it later by reading through your letters. It's encouraged that you play it with a group of like-minded individuals who want to explore this. In other words, you would actually be mailing letters back and forth to each other. And the text gives you guidance on how you could do that and how you can make it most like a immersive, in-character and in-scene role-playing experience. Taking the pains to put yourself in a position where you can be most receptive to the atmosphere that the letter is capable of carrying. One of the things that I most like about this game is the written record it leaves behind. So many fantastic moments in gaming, excellent depictions of character or responses or ideas or plans or discussions just vanish into the ether the moment the game is gone. We hang on to them in our memories, but as time passes, time is, of course, the thief of memory, and these great moments are lost. Hangouts and recorded live games can help mitigate this loss, but we can't record all our games, and the pressure of putting all our games out there live in Hangouts and the uncomfortable medium of sitting at your computer desk gaming with strangers far, far away. We can't do this for every game. And of course we wouldn't want to play every game as De Profundis, but that the game exists within letters that the group produces, that people receive these letters and collect them over time to give shape to, the experience of the game. This leaves a permanent record which can be enjoyed, which can be shared, and can be more than just an exercise in solo play. This edition was released in 2001 by Hogshead Publishing. As I mentioned, it covers just a few pages, running through Book 1, Book 2, and then very quickly Book 3, and finishing on page 28, the appendices then taking it on to page 32. It's written in fairly large print. It's a 2-column style, mainly text. The text is almost entirely in character, written to you in the form of a letter. In 2010, Cubicle 7 brought us De Profundis, the second edition. This is a much longer work, and we'll be talking about it in the next installment. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the clip, this very short look at De Profundis was put together for the RPG Learning Group. Well, who are they and what is that? It's a group of people of no particular affiliation or social requirement to one another who enjoy reading role-playing games which are new to them. They don't have to be new games, just games that you personally have not explored yet, or games that you haven't looked at in a really long time and want to reacquaint yourself with and want to share with others. We do read-throughs, chapter by chapter, with discussion. We do overview videos like this one, or somewhere in between. You can find examples in our Facebook group, the RPG Learning Group, and our G+ group, or community, by the same name. If you're interested in joining, if you've got a game that you'd like to read and share, talk about with other people, encourage maybe people to try out, please do let us know and join in.